Hey there, Steelers Nation. Before we dive into one of the biggest storylines of this offseason, let me remind you that this team is working harder than ever. From top to bottom, the Steelers are sharpening every edge, fine-tuning the roster, and pushing each other to be better. Because we're not here just to compete, we're here to win. So if you love this team, love the grind, and believe in what's being built here in Pittsburgh, hit that like button and make sure you subscribe. For more exclusive inside coverage, because this year writ's personal, let's jump into the story that has everyone talking. The Pittsburgh Steelers made some aggressive moves this offseason, and one of the most surprising was acquiring veteran cornerback Jalen Ramsey in a trade with the Miami Dolphins. Alongside him came tight end Jonnu Smith, both players bringing proven experience and talent. On paper, the Steelers' defense just got even scarier. But with Ramsey, there's more to the story. In a recent live Q&A, Steelers insider Brian Batko responded to a fan's question about Ramsey's reputation and gave a brutally honest answer. To me, the jury is out on how Jalen Ramsey will fit in with the locker room here. I saw one of the longtime Dolphins beat writers call him a mercenary. If that's the case, you have to wonder what happens when things go wrong. That's not something you expect to hear after a big-name addition. And while no one is calling Ramsey a troublemaker outright, the fact that he's been traded by 3 different teams raises some red flags, and it gets deeper. Interestingly, Jonnu Smith, the other player in that Dolphins trade, confirmed that there were locker room issues during his time in Miami. Now, he didn't name names and he didn't point the finger directly at Ramsey, but the timing of the comment has fans buzzing. Could Ramsey have been part of that dysfunction? The Steelers have worked hard to rebuild their locker room culture after past drama remembered the Antonio Brown and Le'Veon Bell years. The last thing Coach Tomlin wants is another distraction, especially as the team tries to blend veteran talent with rising rookies for a balanced roster. And let's not forget similar chemistry concerns were rumored to be a factor in the departure of former star wide receiver George Pickens. Despite the whispers, the Steelers brought Jalen Ramsey in for one reason: to win football games. Ramsey's skill set is elite. He can line up as a traditional cornerback or drop back into safety when needed. His flexibility in the secondary gives defensive coordinator Terrell Austin more tools to work with, especially against pass-heavy teams like Cincinnati and Kansas City. At 29, Ramsey is still playing at a high level. And when he's locked in, he's a top 5 defensive back in this league. No question, yes, the Steelers are taking on most of his massive contract. But the Dolphins are still covering a portion, giving Pittsburgh a rare chance to snag a star defender without wrecking the cap. But make no mistake, the expectations are sky high. Ramsey's addition is part of a much larger trend this offseason. The Steelers have blended experienced veterans with emerging stars to create one of the most balanced rosters in the league. Just look at who else they've brought in. Darius Slay, fresh off a Super Bowl run with the Eagles, brings his own elite resume and leadership ability. He's already working closely with second-year CB Joey Porter Jr., mentoring him on technique and mental preparation. Jonnu Smith gives the offense a reliable tight end option behind Pat Freiermuth and can help in 2 tight end sets a look. The Steelers haven't leaned into enough in recent years. The formula is clear: experience plus youth equals sustainability. And speaking of elite veterans, the Steelers quietly pulled off one of the most important moves of the entire NFL offseason by extending superstar edge rusher T.J. Watt. The 3-year $123 million extension, including a record-breaking $108 million guaranteed, makes Watt the highest-paid non-quarterback in NFL history. Insider Mark Kaboly recently shared that just 1 week before the deal was done, both sides were still far apart. There wasn't much movement at all, and they were pretty far away. Kaboly said on an episode of Kaboly plus MacDot, "This deal coming together so fast behind the scenes speaks volumes about how important Watt is to this franchise." He leads the league in sacks over the last 5 seasons with 73.5 and remains the emotional and physical anchor of the Steelers' defense. Losing Watt would have been catastrophic now. He's locked in for the long haul. Watt isn't just a game-changer on the field, he's also the ultimate mentor. Alongside Cam Hayward, the 2 veterans are helping guide rookies like Derek Harmon and Jack Sawyer as they enter their first NFL training camp. Harmon, Pittsburgh's first-round pick out of Oregon, has already impressed in rookie minicamp, with Watt and Hayward in his corner. He has the perfect setup to develop into the next great Steelers defender. This kind of structure young talent, being mentored by proven legends, is the exact culture Pittsburgh has been trying to build. And now, with Ramsey in the mix, the question becomes, will he buy in or will he disrupt it? With training camp just days away, the Steelers have mostly finalized their offseason moves. The roster is deeper, smarter, and more versatile than it's been in years. The defense, led by Watt, Ramsey, Hayward, and Minkah Fitzpatrick, looks terrifying on paper. The offense is still finding its identity, but veterans like Russell Wilson and Jonnu Smith should help smooth the transition. And most importantly, the locker room chemistry, the secret sauce of any great team's hanging in the balance. Ramsey's performance on the field is expected to be elite, but his impact off the field, that's where the real spotlight will be this season. The Pittsburgh Steelers 2025 offseason was supposed to be all about stacking talent and making a legitimate run with Aaron Rodgers at quarterback, and that's exactly how it started. The blockbuster trade for DK Metcalf had the fan base buzzing. Finally, AWR1 who could physically dominate defenders and stretch the field with Rodgers slinging the ball. Pairing Metcalf with George Pickens looked like a dream. That duo had the potential to be one of the most electric wide receiver tandems in the league. But before fans could start printing AFC Championship tickets, the hammer dropped. George Pickens was traded. Fans were left stunned. Why weaken a potentially elite receiver room right after adding a star? The real story comes out this week. Steelers insider Brian Batko finally gave us some clarity during his Thursday Q&A with fans. And, let's just say, what he revealed is something many suspected, but hearing it confirmed changes everything. The George Pickens trade went beyond football considerations, Batko said. I don't know how many times I can write or say that he had worn out his welcome here on countless fronts. Boom, just like that, the mystery starts to unravel. According to Batko, this wasn't about cap space, contract value, or even production. This was about off-the-field headaches that became too much for the Steelers to tolerate. Batko didn't mince words when asked if Pittsburgh made a mistake by not keeping Pickens for another year. You mentioned pushing all your chips in the middle of the table, he said. I'm not even sure you could trust Pickens to watch your chips for you if you get up to go to the bathroom for a few hands. Ouch. That's a brutally honest assessment, and it tells us everything we need to know about how the front office viewed Pickens behind closed doors. The Steelers chose culture over talent. Let's be real. George Pickens is insanely talented. That's not up for debate. But in Pittsburgh, culture matters. It always has. From the days of Hines Ward to Troy Polamalu to Cam Hayward, this team has always valued the locker room just as much as the box score. And based on Batko's comments, it sounds like Pickens just didn't fit the mold. Was he difficult behind the scenes? Probably. Did he clash with coaches or teammates? Almost certainly. But the front office clearly reached the point where they believed the distractions outweighed the production. That's why they moved on. The addition by subtraction gamble make? No mistake. Trading George Pickens hurts, especially in the short term. With him and Metcalf on the field together, defenses would have had nightmares. Without Pickens, the wide receiver group loses some edge, some explosiveness, and definitely some depth. But the Steelers didn't trade Pickens because he wasn't good. They traded him because they believed the team could function better without him. It's a bold case of addition by subtraction, and whether or not that gamble pays off could define this entire season. Some fans still ask, why trade Pickens now? Why not keep him for the final year of his rookie deal and just let him walk after the season? Well, here's where the business side comes in. The Steelers had already made the internal decision not to extend Pickens. That ship had sailed. So rather than let him leave in free agency for nothing, they chose to get something back while they still could, even if it meant taking a short-term hit at the position. And don't forget, with Aaron Rodgers now in Pittsburgh, the front office is fully committed to going all-in this year. That makes the Pickens trade feel even more baffling on the surface, but it also underscores just how serious the off-field concerns were. For a win-now team to willingly make its receiver room worse, that speaks volumes. Rodgers and Metcalf, a new era. Now the focus shifts to Aaron Rodgers and DK Metcalf, the duo tasked with leading this offense to new heights. The pressure is on. Rodgers came to Pittsburgh to win, and Metcalf didn't arrive to be part of a rebuild. They need to deliver, and fast. It's up to guys like Roman Wilson, Van Jefferson, and Calvin Austin, 3, to step up and help fill the void left by Pickens. The wide receiver room might not be as flashy now, but if it becomes more reliable, more disciplined, and more focused, that could make all the difference. So now it's your turn, Steelers fans. Do you believe Jalen Ramsey will fit in with this locker room? Is this a higher-risk, higher-reward move that could push Pittsburgh to the Super Bowl? Or are you worried that off-field drama could derail the season before it starts? Let us know in the comments below. We'll be reading and responding to as many as we can say. And if you enjoyed this deep dive breakdown, smash that like button, subscribe for more exclusive Steelers content, and turn on the so you're first to know when breaking news drops. This is going to be a season like no other, and we'll be with you every step of the way. Here we go, Steelers Nation.